You've seen me in action, and you've seen me completely talk myself out of a sale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm not ashamed to say. So, like, when you have a fault, you know what I mean? Just admit your fault. The top 8 tips that if you're a salesperson, you definitely need to be cognizant of in order to increase your sales and to increase your bottom line. So the first one is why do you talk less? Tip number 1 is talk less, listen more. So many times I've been in a situation where I'm trying to close a client, and I'm just constantly just rattling off all of the features about this particular product or service that we have. Hey, we can do this, we can do that. I'm hitting them with the value proposition, and guess what? They're just looking at me. You know what I mean? True enough that whenever you're selling someone, what's written across their forehead is, what can you do for me? But nonetheless, you actually have to figure out what it is that they actually want. You know what I mean? Whether or not what you have to offer is even a good fit for them. So the tip that I follow strictly now, because I've lost like major sales by not actually listening to what the client needs. And then I'm saying this now because I'm going to touch on other things that all come back to this, like establishing trust with a client. For example, there have been so many times where I've actually listened to what a client was saying, and I realized that I couldn't help the client. Even though I had all my quote-unquote value proposition copy points, things that I knew that our product or service did, but it still wasn't a good fit. You know what I mean? Case in point, today, if you've seen my quick live where I talked about corporate social responsibility, which is a give back, a do good, what your company is doing for society as a whole, because that's a very, very big thing with millennials. What I was able to ascertain today from a meeting I had with a barbecue sauce brand out of DC was, hey, although I knew that I could help them, they weren't ready for me. You know what I mean? And I had to tell them, I said, hey, I understand everything you need, and yes, I can help you, but not at this point. So the whole point on tip number 1 is about listening more and talking less. Give your people an opportunity to tell you exactly what it is they need, and if what it is that you have as your value proposition fits what they're trying to do, then congratulations, because you might just have a sale. So we're gonna, what do you think about that?
Well, I have to say that you're an expert at this, so I tend to agree.
Oh, you agree? Oh, okay. So I just don't want you to agree with me just because I'm a quote unquote expert at this. You know what I mean? I know your mic is not the best tonight, and I promise that we're gonna we're gonna work on that. Yeah, but just know this. Like, you've seen me in action, and you've seen me completely talk myself out of a sale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not ashamed to say. So, like, when you have a fault, you know what I mean? Just admit your fault. I've talked myself out of a sale, and I'm like, damn, you do realize that maybe 5 minutes into this, after they told you what the problem was, and you kept talking and talking and talking, you talked yourself out of a sale. So, tip number 1 again: listen more, talk less, and don't, absolutely 100%, do not talk yourself out of a sale.